Okay, so there's a lot of info that came out for Persona 5 on the global version of P5X, or I guess you could say the Western version, but this would also include C. It's just, I think C is simply delayed by a week. I think that's the only thing. I'm really not sure. I'm trying to keep up to date with the Twitter account, but I think it's just like a week delayed. Now, in terms of what we have basically found out, there's two main things. Number one, it seems like we're going to be getting Vino early, and number two, it seems like they might speed up the banner schedule now. And I do want to make it clear, I've said in the past that they, well, with the info we had at hand, they were not speeding up the banner schedule, because instead of speeding up with what we had personally at that time, well, basically, instead of speeding up, they were just extending banner duration to make it seem like they were speeding up when they were really not, and we were staying at the exact same pace. However, both of these pieces of information kind of prove to say the opposite, and it might seem like they want to speed up. Now, speeding up is not inherently bad depending on how they handle it. However, if we could be real with each other for a second, most gacha games handle it poorly. As you guys know, I've played Black Clover Mobile and JJK Phantom Parade in the past. Both of them have handled it in a different way that was bad for both games. In Black Clover Mobile, speeding up also made it that they gave us more dupes, but giving us more dupes allowed people to save more. And then in the end, by accidentally becoming too generous, they then went the complete other direction and took away all the extra universal dupes out, so that basically no one was getting universal dupes. For JJK, they went 2 times as quick because they're trying to catch up. And then by the end, pay to wins basically had 2 more banners to summon on per month, and free-to-plays were feeling overwhelmed, even if free-to-plays weren't losing out on much because the daily currency is horrible. Like, literally 99% of the currency was one-time rewards from events, but besides that, it was still overwhelming. So in both games, right, those are 2 examples of games that I have in total between the two over 1,500 videos on. It was bad. However, we're going to bring up these points in this video and talk about everything. So first of all, Vino has been revealed. Now, because Marion had her profile, it's very different than Vino, so I don't know how exactly they're going to go about that. Now, with Vino, if we check it out, she came out with Queen, which as of right now is probably only going to be in August, which is very far away. If we're being real, like it should be, unless they like really speed up, either August 7th or like mid-August, so it's in a while. So we might get Vino earlier, right? Which is kind of crazy to think about. That one I was not expecting. But alongside this, what does this say? Please look forward to P5X's ever accelerating updates. Like, this is not something you want to be saying like all joyful, right? That's the thing. That's the thing. I really don't think this is the best thing to say. Now, how quick would we speed up? As we know, these 3 banners, being Yui, Marion, and Fox, are coming out in a 2-week period. However, Yui's banner lasts a month, which means technically it's as if it came out 2 weeks afterwards. Same thing with Fox's. Both of these are limited units, which means they won't go on standard, whereas Marion will. And Yui and Fox are a month long, which is double what it was on CN. Now, the thing is, are they going to skip reruns? Because if they skip reruns, then it starts to get a bit frisky, because reruns sometimes take up a full 2 weeks where that's free saving. For example, a full 2 weeks, if we pull out the calculator, just from dailies, right? A full 2 weeks, it's almost a multi, but then you tack on 320 from 2 weeks of Guild Boss, and suddenly we're almost at 2,000 lost. So that's very simple things that start to add up, which is the problem people have with speeding up. Now, in my opinion, I think the most, to answer the first question, the most we would speed up is probably 30%. Now, the reason being, if they go quicker than that, then everyone's quitting the game. I'm just stating the facts, right? This is for me playing JJK and Black Clover Mobile. If they go even quicker than that, it's going to be too much, because this schedule was already 1 banner every 2 weeks. And if they go quicker than that, or if they go way quicker than that, right, more than 30% quicker, then there is a problem there. As of right now, there's no way to know. But everyone is basically saying that they're just speeding up because of this statement. Now, why would this like make sense? For an example, because, well, like, because I feel like some people watching this might be like, this doesn't mean jack shit. They've acknowledged a lot of characters that aren't in the game yet already, and because of that, they acknowledge essentially the TW version and the CN version, which means to me personally that this is them acknowledging that they're going to go quicker in relation to the CN version. Now, the second point, how would it be good and how would it be bad? So I just want to put this out there. This is a tweet that I made. This will be the worst divide by the community ever. people will rightfully complain, but then end up getting extra heated over because then there's going to be on the opposite side people defending it, which makes both sides even more annoying. Right, this is the same thing in just gacha wars in general. Like, there's very, very strong gacha tribalism in other games, and it gets really bad, guys. Which, like, if this does happen, I recommend you guys to stay off the internet, stay off Discord, stay off Twitter, or like be in other communities. Like, dude, oh my god, especially recently with Dokkan, holy shit, gachas get very heated. And there's a reason for that. People put their money into these games, right? It creates divisions, which sucks, guys. So far, the P5X community has been amazing. And then bloodbaths with everyone hating on each other. Hope this doesn't happen. But on the flip side, how would it be good? How would it be bad? If we're being real, I don't want the rerun banner. I don't want 2 weeks of just a rerun so early on, when if we consider this, skip, and then Marion, well, skip but not skip. She's good, but you don't need to summon because she's on standard type B. I would really want to get to this next portion, and especially 2.0. So personally, I'm fine with them skipping reruns at the bare minimum. However, I want to make sure this is understood. They cannot skip without compensating. They can't. Now, is it very easy to compensate? Yes, they've already given us an extra 3 pulls monthly with the daily hoot, right? And because of that, it's very simple. How would it be good? You compensate. If we go 30% quicker, what are they going to do? They look at CN. They see how much they got from CN, and then times 1.3. Let's say in a month, on an average month on CN, early days, you would get roughly like 16 to 17,000. Let's highball it. 17,000, okay? 17,000 jewels in a month. Well, all they need to do if we're going 30% quicker, times 1.3, 22,000. Now, gacha games, how it works is they have a certain amount per month or per patch that they're allowed to allot us in terms of giving us currency. If they simply give us 22,000 in a month instead of 17,000, it fixes every single problem. That's it. And how would it be bad? Simply not compensating. If they go quicker than 30% and don't compensate, then it's fucked. Now, let me explain to you something. Even if we're compensated fairly, which for example, JJK technically was, if you look at the math, we were not losing out on any cubes, any actual currency, but people still have to spend, right? Because free-to-play currency is only going to allot you a certain amount, but it's very different. You have to think a bit like with the numbers. When you're releasing maybe 1 to 2 more banners a month, people are going to spend for those 1 to 2 extra banners because you only get a certain amount, but then you'd have to spend in a shorter time frame. So in terms of spenders, if they release it too quick, then it becomes bad for most spenders, right? No matter how much they compensate, if a spender wants to E6 or A6, right? It's not going to make up for that. So if you have to do that for 1 more unit a month, it's going to be a lot more technically. So that's the other part we have to keep in mind. They can't go too quick. I think 20 to 30% quicker is not going to be bad as long as they compensate. But that's the big thing. They need to compensate. Now, should you be worried? Right now, no. Right now, you don't have to be worried. Hell no. It's fine, right? If they go quicker, it's fine, right? Like going quicker. I think someone mentioned it. Was it here? Hi, Kelbert. I think someone said it. I swear someone did say it. Let me find it. So I couldn't find what I initially wanted to find. Someone said it was good for a reason. And honestly, in terms of hype, I think it's fine. Listen, if they release a bit more banners a month, like technically they're releasing 3 banners in July, but not really, because technically if Fox was only 2 weeks, he wouldn't even be in July. So they're not going that much quicker. Sorry, they're not going quicker at all right now, but in the future, this makes it seem like it might. Now this I did want to talk about. I truly don't understand people that are happy with this. This is just exclusively bad for free-to-play. It's not true. If you have to spend for 1 more unit a month, who has the funds for that, right? That's the thing. Because like if I'm, as a whale, if I'm allotting myself $500, $1,000 a month, suddenly I need 1,500 now. So speed ups from what I've seen on JJK and Black Clover Mobile are bad for everyone unless they compensate and don't go too quick. Because on JJK, guys, like you're getting the same amount of cubes, but suddenly you have to think about it. On JJK, you have to suddenly summon for 2 times the amount of units in a month. Like that's crazy. That is crazy. Because instead of having, let's say, you use $1,000 in 2 months, suddenly you have to use $1,000 every single month, and that's when it's bad. Please just stick to the original server's pace. They can go a bit quicker, but this is the thing. this person wants it to stay the same because no way in hell we're going to get properly compensated for the increased pace. Which, if we're being real, the doom posting on this is very fair because on like usually we do not get actual good compensation, which is the problem. So we do have to definitely think about that. And yeah, I mean, this person says it perfectly. Bulk of MetaGen rewards are daily, weekly, seasonal. If you rush content update banners with no reward increase, that is literally less saving players are able to do. So should you be worried? I think right now, no, because we know until August, there is no banner speed up. The only way there would be a banner speed up is two things. Number one, on the 7th one is the next banner. And I think it's the 7th of August. 7th of August. If we don't get the rerun, then logically they already skipped 2 weeks, right? They did. Now, the thing is, Queen would be a month long, but it still wouldn't make up for that fact, so keep that in mind. And yeah, that's the thing. We will see on August 7th. So I think right now, if you're feeling iffy and you're free to play, I think you should continue playing. Personally, there's no problems at all if we're being real, because it's not really going to affect you. You have one more month of fun times. And then if on the 7th you see they're going quicker without compensation, then just quit the game. I think that would be fair, because banner speed ups is just sometimes, even if they like, for example, don't really affect you negatively in terms of currency, the problem then becomes you have to put more time into this game, and for some people it might be too much. So that's the thing, you're gonna have to kind of assess it at that point. But for right now, banner speed up is not looking to be horrible as long as they actually compensate. What's the big word here? Compensate, okay? That's the thing. Because if they don't compensate, then it's fucked. That's literally the thing that makes it good or bad. Because if they compensate, suddenly there's more content every month, okay? And it's not by a lot, but it's by enough to where pay-to-wins aren't suffering and free-to-plays aren't suffering. Because if they go too much, it's hurting free-to-plays and pay-to-wins as much, if not pay-to-wins more. That's the thing you have to keep in mind. Especially because pay-to-wins are the main players that matter to this game, but free-to-plays matter in terms of actually keeping the game alive. Free-to-plays have their role, pay-to-wins have their role. If you let go of too many pay-to-wins, then it's bad. So they got to find the perfect balance, which is going to be very difficult, but it's possible. I think, personally, the sweet spot is 30% quicker. And like I said, 30% quicker means 30% more currency every month. And what they need to do, well, first of all, compensate. Compensate. It's very simple. It is very simple. If they compensate, then we're fine. Number two, bring the 110 banner. I think they got it. Ooh, they got it sometime in 2.0. I think it was 2.2. I think it was 2.2. Correct me if I'm wrong. Even if it is 2.2, bring it earlier. Bring it like before. Bring it in 2.0. If they bring it in 2.0, technically we get like 3 more banners with it, and that's a W. Honestly, a W. But they need to compensate us if they speed up and bring the 110 banner earlier than planned from the CN version. I think it should already be here, okay? It not being here is kind of crazy, but I understand because we already have enough currency to pity Joker. So giving us the 110 banner may have been too cracked in terms of gacha currency, because at the end of the day, it's a company. But I would say personally, what I would like to see, when would I like it to come? After Fox. So if they bring it with Queen, I think that is honestly the perfect time. Queen is a pretty hype release, very good. And if they bring the 110 with it, then we're in business to then a month later have 2.0, and it's just going to keep on rolling and good things will come. So at the end of the day, I think for right now, it's not something you need to be worried about. However, keep it on your radar. I think that as gacha players, if you are playing a gacha, you got to make sure the company is treating you right. If they do plan to go quicker, that is totally fine, as long as they do not go too crazy with it. And that's basically it at the end of the day. If they compensate, don't go too quick, then everyone's fine. If they don't compensate and don't go too quick, well, free-to-play suffer. If they do compensate but go too quick, pay to win suffer still, because they still got to fucking summon for everything. Even no numbers of compensation is going to stop pay to wins from suffering in that case. So they have to be very careful. Speed ups can ruin an entire gacha. Okay, speed ups is maybe the worst thing you could do to a gacha besides collabing with a Persona gacha. I swear to God, every single gacha that collabed with Persona 5 ended up dying like less than a year later, which is pretty funny if this game ends up dying, because of them speeding up. So yeah, good news, I guess. Vino probably is going to be coming earlier, which I think is good because that means like the value of the 4-star is going to kind of be there for longer. But yeah, banner speed up might be confirmed. Ooh. And personally, though, I am pretty excited because, you know, I honestly am very excited for Barry. She's like a year away. So if they skip the reruns but compensate accordingly, I don't give a fuck. But we'll have to see how they do that because it could be very scary. So as of right now, is anything solidly confirmed? No. But keep it on your radar. We're going to see. August 7th, mark it down. August 7th is when we'll have official confirmation. However, we might find out earlier when the banner releases is, but that's for another day. For today, just wanted to say that. And of course, like and subscribe to the video. Or like the video and subscribe to the channel. That's correct. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you think. Have a good one.